In the direction of Konstantinovka, the FPV Molnya unit destroyed a temporary staging area of the Ukrainian armed forces. Kharkiv Front. During the transport of the 14th Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the Kupiansk region, an FPV ambush was carried out by operators of the West units. 3 trucks were destroyed one after another on the same road. Russian drone operators destroyed a Ukrainian Armed Forces Baba Yaga UAV in the air over Chasiv Yar.
Don't forget to leave your opinion about the video in the comments, subscribe, and like.
The destruction of Ukraine's Sisu XA-180 armored personnel carrier in the direction of Konstantinovka using a Lancet dam-mounted missile and a fiber-optic UAV. After the Lancet attack, Ukrainian infantry left the armored vehicle's door open and abandoned it. The Russian fiber-optic drone carried out the final attack, destroying the vehicle. Why do you think they left the door open and left? It is not only aerial reconnaissance units that are monitoring the enemy's movements. Russian snipers are also constantly watching the infantry through their binoculars. The footage shows clashes with snipers from the Vostok military unit and the destruction of Ukrainian armed forces personnel and heavy helicopters. According to a statement from the Ministry of Defense, the Russian armed forces struck a temporary staging area belonging to the Ukrainian Armed Forces Assault Brigade in the Konstantinovka region. Footage of the Russian airstrikes was captured by objective cameras. In the direction of Konstantinovka, joint attacks by artillery and UAV operators of the South Group destroyed a shelter belonging to the armed forces of Ukraine and caused irreparable losses to the enemy.
Выстрел!
3 FAB-500s visited the 57th Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces in Volchansk, Kharkiv Oblast. In Dimitrov-Mirnograd, FAB-3000s destroyed a UAV launch pad belonging to the 15th Brigade of the Ukrainian National Guard. Russian pilots struck a drone launch pad belonging to the Ukrainian Armed Forces 34th Brigade in Antonivka, Kherson Oblast, using X-39 missiles. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. Northern UAVs destroyed a transport vehicle belonging to the Ukrainian Armed Forces in the Kharkiv region. Enemy movement routes are under fire control by the 6th Army of the Leningrad Military District. All Ukrainian Armed Forces equipment detected is immediately subjected to fire. 2 120mm mortar shells belonging to the Ukrainian Armed Forces and 1 American AGS Mark 19 were destroyed via FPV drone using fiber optic cables belonging to the Savor Group, Sumy region. Russian aircraft are striking the left bank of Volchansk, targeting Ukrainian armed forces positions. Winged FABs are accurately and intensively striking covert Ukrainian armed forces personnel. Soldiers from the 57th Guards Motorized Rifle Brigade and the 69th Brigade, which protect the Vostok forces, are working together to break through the enemy's fortification network in the direction of Zaporizhia. In the footage, a drone is seen heading toward a bunker, followed by a pair of fighters attacking from behind enemy trenches, throwing grenades at the fortifications and taking prisoners. Soldiers from the 16th Special Forces Brigade are on duty. 2 Russian UAVs destroyed a T-92M tank in the direction of Krasnolimanska. UAV operators belonging to the South Group struck Ukraine's Kvertis AD Kraken electronic warfare station with precision FPV strikes. A Russian drone equipped with incendiary munitions slowly flew toward a Ukrainian shelter and set it on fire, causing the shelter to burn down. Destruction of the Ukrainian Armed Forces UAV Control Center. Footage of UAV operators affiliated with the Southern Forces Group destroying the Ukrainian Armed Forces UAV Control Center in the Konstantinovka region. The movement of a group of Ukrainian Armed Forces infantry was detected in the forest area. Drone operators intensively targeted the infantry. However, as the infantrymen were in the trees, the drones hit the bushes. The drone operators also tried several drone strikes. The infantry was heavily attacked in the trees, but the infantry came out of the trees and ran quickly across the open field. This time, the drones and artillery also hit and destroyed the infantry. In the same direction, FPV drones and aircraft-type kamikaze drone attacks were carried out in succession on the ruined buildings where Ukrainian infantry were hiding in the nearby settlement. In the direction of Pokrovsk, Russian tanks opened fire on the positions of the Ukrainian armed forces one by one. Reconnaissance drones monitor the tank fire moment by moment, trying to direct the tanks in the right direction to hit the targets. As a result of the harmonious work of tank and drone units, the positions of the Ukrainian armed forces were destroyed. The Ukrainian armed forces were conducting an offensive in the border area. It was sending infantry to Popovka and Demidovka. However, they suffered many casualties on the ground in these settlements. Russian drone operators and other troops are repelling all attempts of the Ukrainian armed forces to attack. Russian forces repelled the Ukrainian attack attempt on Mariino. The temporary deployment point of the Ukrainian armed forces was destroyed when a Russian fiber optic drone landed hard. UAV operators of the 38th Independent Guards Motorized Rifle Brigade of the 35th Combined Arms Army destroyed a camouflaged Ukrainian Armed Forces mortar and position in the Poloyskoye direction. The 25th Army Forces destroyed the position and the personnel inside as a result of an accurate strike by the Ukrainian Armed Forces. Russian armed forces are attacking the positions of the Ukrainian armed forces. There was copyrighted music in this operation footage, so I muted the video. I hope news outlets that publish such videos do not publish videos with music. In this way, we will have the opportunity to publish these images with their real sounds. In the video, Russian armed forces raid several Ukrainian positions. In some parts of the video, there are close-range combat scenes, but due to YouTube community rules, I cannot publish those scenes. There is close-range combat at the positions. Ukrainian armed forces equipment is also captured in the houses they enter. Russian reconnaissance detected the movement of Ukrainian armed forces infantry. The infantry were constantly changing positions to evade Russian attacks. But the last building they entered would be the last one the infantry would visit. In Zaporizhia, Russian Molniya drone operators destroyed temporary deployment points of the Ukrainian armed forces. Reconnaissance drones first revealed the positions and recorded their coordinates. Then, aircraft-type UAVs struck and destroyed the positions one by one. Two drones of the armed forces of Ukraine, in perfect condition and intact, have fallen into Russian hands. According to the news report, they say, "We will update the software, change the colors, and fly over the enemy." Footage of the destruction of Ukraine's BMP-1 by air-dropped munitions in the direction of Kharkiv near Bohuslavka. Russian Molniya drones are repeatedly striking Ukrainian armed forces positions, bunkers, warehouses, trenches, temporary deployment points, and places of concentrated manpower. Footage of the liberation of Stroivka, Kharkiv region. The video was published by the Russian Defense Ministry/TASS. Russian reconnaissance drones revealed the Ukrainian Armed Forces' UAV control point. The 126th Brigade's UAV operators precisely calculated the coordinates, after which the attack drones moved in. The position was destroyed. Just as the drone, capable of dropping Russian ammunition, was about to drop a bomb, the Ukrainian soldier raised his hands and begged for surrender. The operator did not attack. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. Information was received about a mobile group of Ukrainians on motorcycles operating near Ivanopol. Drone operators chased the motorcyclists. As a result, one of them lost his motorcycle and managed to hide in the bushes. The other motorcyclist was not so lucky. UAVs of the Russian Vostok group struck Ukrainian infantry in the direction of South Donetsk. 3 Ukrainian soldiers had just joined the army. However, before they could reach their positions, they were stopped by a Russian drone. Everything that happened was captured on the drone's camera. It was a big mistake for these 3 soldiers to be walking in an open area. It was as if drone technology had never been invented. Were there no military armored vehicles?